3, 2, 1. So which did you prefer? I guarantee, even though you only saw it for a split second, you know which one you prefer. But why? Hard to say, innit? Probably feels like you made a decision without even really knowing it. What if I told you there's a whole department here at Nothing they set up to decide the color that you will find most appealing? And this process can take months. Even to decide the color of this phone took collectively 10,000 hours. Mad, right? This is Lucy. She's in charge of picking the color, material, finish of every product that we release here at Nothing. She's at the top of her game, working in this industry for almost 10 years. She's worked on the CMF for luxury fashion brands, cars, and even spaceships. It's safe to say she's done it all.
The science says 0.7 of a second, people create a judgment about what's in front of them. And you can quite often rationalize your way out of that when you think, actually, I like this because it does this thing, or it's got this processor. Actually, there's a snap decision happening in your brain that is not anything to do with what processor it's got. It's very much driven by what is in front of you.
0.7 seconds, that's kind of crazy. What is the method to the madness with this CMF stuff?
Ultimately, I don't come to work and pick a colour because I think it's cool. I pick it because I know that it is going to work for our consumers, for our brand and what we're trying to say and who we're trying to say it to. Really, it's a bit more sciencey. It's so much further away from my opinion, and I have data to back that up. If I said to you, what kind of phone are you going to be into in 3 to 5 years' time? It's a really difficult question to answer, and so you can't really figure out that kind of stuff, but like that's kind of our job.
I don't even know what I'm going to like in 5 minutes, let alone 5 years. Kind of a self-report, but my style changes based on what's in my For You page every week. Lucy then goes on to explain why this is so common.
Something like frat green, that whole aesthetic, that doesn't really exist in a sort of vacuum. A lot of the attitude of Brat is about being, you know, a little bit chaotic, being very unapologetically yourself. For me, there's a really strong link between something like Brat as a response to the Love Island aesthetic, where what you're being told is this is a model of femininity that is acceptable. That's not very attainable. So you have something like that is kind of directly coming out of the other end, where people have just eventually said, do you know what, I'm going to almost anti-design this. And when you look at the Brat artwork, it's super pixelated. Any art worker would be horrified. But because of that, that's kind of actually its magic, where it's just saying like, nah, we're just gonna pop this on. But like that is so much to do with, there's like a whole scaffolding around that.
I mean, yeah, the outside world influences all of us, but I'll be real, there's just some things that I just like. Why is that?
But I have like very vivid sort of sensory memories from early childhood where I felt very strongly about particular outfits. So I could tell you, I went to see Spice Girls at Wembley Arena in 1998, and I could, without a doubt, describe to you perfectly the outfit that I wore, because it was so important to me about how I was dressing for the Spice Girls. So yes, I think those early formative memories when you're trying to figure out who you are as a person. And for me, the Spice Girls came along at a time where I was really understanding who I was as a strong, independent woman, girl power. But that definitely tracks into my life.
This kind of hit home for me and got me thinking, like, what are the things that have shaped my memories and preferences as a kid? I started to analyse like all of the objects that I have and why I like them. Like this jumper, for example, why do I like this? It's giving Americana, it's giving like 90s hip hop vibes. And then I started to think, as a kid, I was just absolutely obsessed with the Fresh Prince. I used to think everyone on that show dressed so flipping good. It's crazy to think how something 20 years ago can affect my preferences now when I'm picking different things, clothes, objects, etc.
When you create a good story about a product, it allows people to express their identity in a way that feels truer to themselves. You know, we know what we're supposed to like, but then there's sometimes just things that you can't explain about your taste that really challenge your own perception. Technology should be there to help us.
Okay, so good CMF is about storytelling. What kind of story is Lucy trying to tell with our products?
Like when we came up with this, the yellow for us just felt super playful, but at the same time, because it's really well executed and it's on a design that's really well executed, it has that sort of playful spirit, that it's a kind of unexpected context to find that colour in, and it is really iconic, and it has this real strong connection to the industrial design world. You know, we have quite a strong understanding at Nothing about who our consumer is. They're a little bit left field, you know, they're not here to do what everyone else is doing.
So our products are there to build worlds. They aren't just built in isolation. Next, I was curious, how does Lucy even kick off this creative process?
I look a lot at fashion as inspiration. We look at our own resource library. We have this quite sort of retro-futuristic aesthetic. If we want to make a new audio product, we're not really looking at other audio products necessarily. We'll be looking at things that are close to that world, but not actually in that world. I quite often take photographs of the contents of skips, which does make me look a little bit unhinged. It will often be if there's like a load of packaging foam or something like that in there. And sometimes the combinations are just really unexpected and brilliant. Different points of view are so important. Diverse and interesting teams. Industrial design is quite male. There's not really gender parity in there. And things like having piercings in my ears, having long hair, those sorts of things can really impact how comfortable you might find things that go into your ears.
Hello Hogwarts, yes, do you want your wizard back? Too bad, we're keeping her. The way in which she's predicting societal tastes and creating products and telling stories through them is really, really epic. And next I wanted to ask, how did she actually become the powerhouse of CMF that she is today?
Lots of CMF designers come from a sort of textiles background. So, lots of them come from industrial design. When I was at art school and my tutor said to me, "Are you an artist or are you a designer?" And at that point I didn't really know what she was getting at. And I'm definitely not an artist, I'm definitely a designer, because so much of it is about how do I solve a problem, and the problem might be what colour are we going to do, but the problem might also be what materials are going to be made out of. Is this practical? Those sorts of challenges for me are it's really fun.
Nice, this was cool. But at the end of the day, I'm here for you guys. And Lucy kept talking about this super secret project, so you know how to see what all that was about.
This is the top secret department. I was talking earlier about how long it takes us. It takes a long time. Phone 2A is a distant dream for us. We're already thinking about what's next in the roadmap. So a lot of these curtains cover up those things. I can't tell you any more about them.
It's classified.
So when do you reckon this product will drop then?
So this is going to drop in March 2025.
That's exciting. Okay, we usually do giveaways on here, so maybe we can do a giveaway for this product. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Wowzers, how exciting. We're giving away a product that doesn't even exist yet. Drop a comment below, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll hit you up in a few months when the product's out. Until then, see you next time.